Hey guys, so today I will be reviewing History Channel Battle for the Pacific. This game came out in 2007 and is a World War II first-person shooter set in the Pacific Theater. This will be a review of the Xbox 360, PS3, and PC version, which actually is an entirely different game from the PS2 and Wii version, despite having the exact same name and the exact same box art. It's honestly the first time I've ever seen that with two completely different games. Here's a side-by-side comparison of the opening of both games. I do think that the Xbox 360 version is better than the lower gen version, but that's not saying much unfortunately. The game was released right after the golden years of World War II shooters, when franchises like the Medal of Honor series and the original Call of Duty games were popular. I myself was a huge wargamer, and to be honest, the World War II setting had been overused by that time. On top of that, this game is as bland and mediocre as World War II shooters come. Overall, this game just doesn't have much going for it. All the missions consist of boring, linear paths. You basically experience all the aspects of the entire game in the first mission or two, and it doesn't take long before it feels like you're doing the same thing over and over again. Several of the missions also look and feel extremely similar to one another, almost identical actually. For example, here's the Wake Island mission. Here's the first Leyte Island mission. And here's the first Iwo Jima mission. As you can tell, it's pretty hard to tell the difference. The game does try to mix it up a bit with some other tasks and elements, such as shooting down enemy planes with an AA gun, or disarming enemy mines, but these tasks are pretty bland as well. Another weakness that this game has is that it's very short and easy, even on the hardest difficulty setting. It consists of 10 missions, all of which can be beaten in 10 to 15 minutes. And after you complete the game once, there really isn't much of an incentive to give it a second go around. The enemy AI is also hilariously bad. Enemies will often line up or bunch up all in one big group, and it's pretty comical how you can mow them down like bowling pins. Your health also regenerates really quickly, so if you do take hits, you can simply retreat to heal back up and let your commanding officer take care of the enemies for you. Your commanding officer, by the way, is invincible and takes out enemies way too quickly and easily. It really takes the challenge out of the game. However, if you get too far away from your commanding officer, you'll instantly fail the mission, which feels pretty lame to be honest. Sometimes your commanding officer will even get stuck, and you have to restart to the checkpoint and lose all your progress, or get him to move by using grenades. It's things like this that make the game feel poorly made. Graphics wise, I've definitely seen worse than this game, and the scenery in the jungle missions actually looks pretty decent, but overall, this game's graphics aren't really anything special either. One thing I find funny about this game is the hilarious ragdoll physics. It can lead to some pretty funny explosions and enemy deaths, as you can see here. Just look at how far these guys get launched in the air. It's pretty funny. The game did have a multiplayer mode, but it's no longer active. I have read that the multiplayer was pretty much dead not long after the game was released. I do wish I could have experienced the multiplayer. One thing that sucks about most of the game's achievements, at least on the console versions, is that most of them are multiplayer achievements, some of which even require 4 players. This is obviously an issue considering the multiplayer is long dead. I myself went to pretty hardcore lengths to get all the achievements. I actually had to use multiple Xboxes and multiple copies of the game to be able to create my own matches and play against myself in order to unlock the achievements. So in conclusion, I think this game is too short, too easy, it lacks variety, and overall, it was just lazily put together. I honestly feel like we've seen this style of game done 100 times before, and most other games do it far better than this one. The game simply does not have enough going for it to get my recommendation. My final verdict on History Channel Battle for the Pacific is a 2 stars out of 5.